Hello, YouTube, and hello to Mojo Sideburns. We have subscribed to each other's channel and have began a conversation. So the conversation continues. For my other subscribers, this began from my viewing and commenting on his video, Why Libertarian Socialism is Good. First, let me thank you for your video reply and your kind words. I really appreciate that. I was about to retire when I received your video. I wrote in your comment area, I do understand about taking care of those you love. However, if one values the brotherhood of man, then how is it possible to steal from another? What is the rational reasoning of taking from someone solely due to them residing in a more affluent neighborhood? Yes, this will happen, no doubt, but is this the meme we want to promote? These are my unscripted thoughts. Please excuse my current lack of energy. The transformation of a man is a profound event and should not be taken lightly. So thank you for sharing such intimate details of your life. I am convinced that the mechanisms of our life dynamics will test our acknowledged value systems. It is not a matter of becoming perfect, but rather embracing the perfection of our imperfections as we strive to improve our vision and our walk. The corporation known as the United States has allowed and advanced many extremely ugly events that surely are terrifying upon examination. If a state of disorder and lawlessness developed, then one would indeed be motivated to select their ultimate value within that moment. I see no dishonor in using violence as a response to self-protection or the protection of others. But I do have issue with stealing from another to provide for my own. There are some who have the mindset that ensuing chaos will justify the riddance of personal integrity. There are some that have witnessed the process of inappropriate action towards the common man, institutional control of citizens from various branches of government and the business world. The state and commercial psychosis equates to justification in generating personal harm of another or theft. This is seen as a survival tactic. What can we say about humanity if we are willing to appeal to the inner brute? One must make their stand. Paradox is a word that has always fascinated me. My attention to it has shown me the folly of my ways. It has humbled me and inspirited me to fashion my own transformation. I admit it is easier to deal with the possibility of tragedy when it is restricted to the boundaries of self. When it comes to those we love, we can find ourselves willing to compromise pre-existing value structures due to a greater value. I prescribe to the way of the rational warrior. This individual must have freedom from doubt and no tie to the masses. The masses seek certainty from the spectator and mistakenly gives value to the viewpoint of others in determining their path. Impeccability from the tired eyes of the rational warrior brings a lack of false pride. In looking at ultimate value, we cannot afford to be attached to our fellow man. Voluntary submission of the individual leads to involuntary control by forces or by mankind that invoke certain force. I give you this proposition: the subjugation to internal strife, no matter the justification, for the greater good of society or our loved ones, is voluntary conceding of individual liberty. Thomas Jefferson advocated regular revolution. He had it partly right. We need a plan before we can eliminate any external oppressor. Jefferson was focused on the external. I say the revolution happens within first. If you gain victory over memories, conditioning, and the ideological ills of society, then you can be free from the government of your mind. I suggest being enamored by the possibility of infinity. Why? Because radical change cannot change the game, but only the surface of it. The game understands that all adversarial action will be crushed. Let's define the game as the experience of humanity. So, why not focus on where it counts? If you take from one person for the preservation of another, does that turn you into a replica of that which you proclaim to hate? You become the privileged by force. Many people in privileged positions, especially if achieved via plunder, will be infected with the virus of unearned superiority. That's how I think of it. This person begins to perceive him or herself as distinctly separate from the person harmed. Suddenly, they are deserving of this illicit position and its prerequisites more than others. If one can obtain empathy before yielding to survival triggers, then the rational ultimate value will not lead to the dualistic conflict of him versus me, even if that results in your own death. If your ultimate motivation is based on the rationale that injurious action brought to another can never be a rational ultimate value, then even stealing from a person for your survival becomes unacceptable. Do note that the injurious action is administered by premeditated conscious design. With all that said, the question that demands attention is, what is your ultimate value? Thanks for listening.